Many traditions speak of a higher self and a lower self, a spiritual self and an egoic self. But what if this very notion of duality is a trick of the mind? You see, by believing in a higher self that must overcome a lower self, we inadvertently strengthen the illusion of separation. The task then is not to transcend or conquer the lower self, but to see through the illusion that it exists as a separate entity. From the moment we are born, we are taught to perceive the world through the lens of duality. We are conditioned to see ourselves as separate individuals, distinct from the world around us. This perception of separation gives rise to a myriad of dualities: good and bad, right and wrong, self and other. We come to believe that our existence is defined by these opposites, and our lives become a constant struggle to navigate this dualistic landscape. This belief in duality is deeply ingrained in our consciousness. It shapes our thoughts, our actions, and our interactions with the world. We see ourselves as separate entities, each with a distinct identity and a unique set of experiences. This sense of separation creates a constant tension, a feeling of incompleteness that drives us to seek fulfillment outside of ourselves. The mind, in its quest to understand and categorize, creates the illusion of duality. It divides the world into parts and pieces, labels them, and assigns them meaning. But these divisions are arbitrary, mere constructs that do not reflect the true nature of reality. In truth, there is only oneness, an indivisible whole that encompasses all of existence. We must learn to look beyond the surface appearances and recognize the underlying unity that binds everything together. This requires a deep and profound transformation of our consciousness, a letting go of the old ways of thinking and perceiving. The journey towards this understanding is not an easy one. It requires us to question our most deeply held beliefs, to confront the fears and insecurities that arise from the illusion of separation. It demands that we open ourselves to new ways of seeing and being, to embrace the mystery and the unknown. But as we begin to see through the illusion of duality, we experience a profound shift in our understanding of ourselves and the world. We realize that the higher self and the lower self are not separate entities, but different aspects of the same reality. The higher self is not a distant, unattainable ideal, but the true nature of our being, hidden beneath the layers of conditioning and illusion. To truly unveil the secrets of the universe, we must learn to embrace the present moment. The present moment is all there is and all there ever will be. Past and future are mere constructs of the mind, illusions that distract us from the eternal now. By living fully in the present, we align ourselves with the rhythm of the universe, experiencing the flow of life as it unfolds. Living in the present moment is a practice of mindfulness, a state of awareness where we become fully engaged with the here and now. It is about paying attention to our thoughts, feelings, and sensations without judgment, simply observing them as they arise and pass. This practice helps us to break free from the constant chatter of the mind, allowing us to experience life with greater clarity and depth. When we are present, we are no longer caught up in the regrets of the past or the anxieties of the future. We let go of the need to control and manipulate our experiences, and instead we surrender to the flow of life. This surrender is not a passive resignation, but an active engagement with reality. It is a state of openness and receptivity, where we become attuned to the subtle nuances of existence. The present moment is the gateway to the deeper dimensions of reality. It is in the now that we can experience the interconnectedness of all things, the unity that underlies the diversity of forms. By being fully present, we transcend the limitations of the ego and enter into a state of pure awareness. This awareness is the ground of our being, the source from which all experiences arise. In this state of presence, we come to realize that we are not separate from the universe, but an integral part of it. Our thoughts, emotions, and actions are not isolated events, but expressions of the same underlying reality. This realization brings a sense of peace and harmony as we see that everything is interconnected and interdependent. Embracing the present moment also means embracing change. The universe is in a constant state of flux, and everything is impermanent. By accepting the impermanence of all things, we free ourselves from the fear of loss and the need for attachment. We learn to flow with the changes, adapting and evolving with the rhythm of life. This acceptance of impermanence allows us to appreciate the beauty and wonder of each moment. We become more attuned to the simple joys of life, the small miracles that often go unnoticed. We see the world with fresh eyes, experiencing each moment as a gift, a unique and unrepeatable event. Living in the present moment is not about denying the past or ignoring the future. It is about finding a balance where we acknowledge our past experiences and future aspirations while remaining fully engaged with the now. It is about cultivating a state of presence that allows us to navigate the complexities of life with grace and ease. Through the practice of mindfulness, we develop the ability to stay present even in the midst of challenges and difficulties. We learn to respond to situations with clarity and wisdom, rather than reacting out of habit and conditioning. This responsiveness is the key to living a fulfilled and meaningful life, as it allows us to make conscious choices that align with our true nature. The present moment is also the space where creativity and inspiration arise. When we are fully present, we tap into the infinite potential of the universe, accessing the source of all creation. We become channels for the flow of creativity, allowing new ideas and insights to emerge effortlessly. This state of creative flow is not limited to artists and musicians, but is available to everyone. It is the natural expression of our being, the spontaneous unfolding of our true nature. By living in the present moment, we align ourselves with the creative force of the universe, experiencing the joy and fulfillment that comes from expressing our unique gifts and talents. In embracing the present moment, we also cultivate a sense of gratitude. Gratitude is the recognition of the abundance and beauty of life, the acknowledgement of the gifts and blessings that we receive in each moment. It is a state of appreciation that opens our hearts and minds to the richness of existence. One of the most profound secrets of the universe lies in understanding the dance of life and death. Life and death are not opposites, but rather two sides of the same coin. They are intimately intertwined, each giving meaning and context to the other. To truly grasp the essence of existence, we must come to terms with the cyclical nature of life and death. In many cultures and spiritual traditions, death is not seen as the end, but as a transition, a passage to another form of existence. It is a return to the source from which all life springs. Just as the seasons cycle from spring to winter, so too do our lives follow a natural rhythm of birth, growth, decay, and rebirth. This understanding can bring a sense of peace and acceptance as we realize that death is not something to be feared but embraced as a natural part of the universal process. The fear of death often stems from our attachment to the physical form and the ego's desire for permanence. We cling to the illusion of individuality, forgetting that we are part of a larger whole. In reality, we are like waves in the ocean, unique and distinct for a moment, but ultimately part of the vast, undifferentiated expanse. When we let go of this attachment, we can experience a profound sense of liberation, recognizing that our true essence is eternal and unchanging. Life and death are also expressions of the dynamic interplay of creation and destruction that underpins the universe. Creation cannot exist without destruction, just as light cannot exist without darkness. This dance of opposites is the driving force behind evolution and transformation. By accepting both aspects of this dance, we can live more fully, embracing the cycles of change and growth that characterize our existence. A forest fire may seem destructive, but it clears the way for new growth. The death of a plant provides nourishment for the soil, supporting the life that will come after. In this way, death is not an end, but a necessary part of the cycle of life. When we view death through this lens, we see it not as a loss, but as a contribution to the ongoing process of creation. This understanding can also help us navigate the personal losses we experience in life. The death of a loved one, the end of a relationship, or the closing of a chapter can all be seen as opportunities for growth and transformation. By embracing these experiences, we allow ourselves to evolve, to shed old layers, and to become more fully ourselves. Many of us have seen people jogging with a certain grim determination, their faces set in a serious expression. They believe they are running, but often they show they don't truly know how to run. There is a profound lesson in this simple observation. Jogging, in its rigidity and linearity, reflects a fundamental misunderstanding of the nature of our world. Our world is not a flat, straight-line reality. The earth is a fundamentally wiggly phenomenon. Look at the way rivers flow, the way trees grow, the way the wind dances across the fields. Nature moves in curves and spirals, in waves and undulations. The straight line, which joggers so determinedly pursue, is not the shortest distance between 2 points on Earth. Instead, it is a human imposition on a world that is inherently curvaceous and dynamic. Why do we build our cities in rigid, rectangular patterns and construct our lives around the illusion of order? This passion for Euclidean geometry, for squares and straight lines, reveals a deeper tendency within us. We crave simplicity and certainty, even when it conflicts with the true nature of reality. Euclidean shapes are simple and predictable, but they are also uninteresting and lifeless. Compare a straight line to the elegant curve of a river or the intricate pattern of a leaf. The beauty of nature lies in its complexity, in its wiggliness. This is why we are drawn to the curvaceous forms of life, from the human body to the patterns of the cosmos. Wiggliness embodies vitality and unpredictability, qualities that make life truly vibrant and interesting. To truly understand the secrets of the universe, we must embrace this wiggliness. We must learn to move with the natural flow of life, rather than resisting it with our rigid, straight-line thinking. Those who are rigid, who are straights and squares, are out of harmony with the wiggly nature of the universe. They are constantly at odds with the fluidity of existence, struggling against the natural flow of life. Many people are uneasy around snakes because of their unpredictable, undulating movement. Yet the snake is a perfect symbol of the wiggly vitality of life. It moves with the flow of its environment, embodying the natural undulation of waves and vibrations. To be in harmony with the universe, we must learn to move like the snake, to embrace the wiggly nature of life. Our universe is fundamentally a system of wave vibrations. Everything, from the tiniest particle to the largest galaxy, vibrates and undulates in a dance of energy. This wave-like nature of reality is reflected in the patterns of nature, in the movement of the oceans, the sway of the trees, and the rhythms of our own bodies. Yet we often resist this fluidity. We seek solid ground, a firm foundation on which to stand. We build our lives around the illusion of permanence and stability, clinging to the idea of a solid, unchanging reality. But true wisdom lies in recognizing that our world is not solid, but fluid. The art of living is not about finding solid ground, but about learning to swim in the ever-changing currents of existence. Many of us live with the belief that the land is solid and the sea is fluid. But nothing could be further from the truth. The earth itself is constantly moving, shifting, and flowing. Look at the recent geological activity in Southern California. The ground beneath our feet is not as solid as we might think. It flows and moves just like the water of the oceans. In my own home near the waterfront, we have seen how land, when disturbed, behaves like a fluid. When a marina was built nearby, dredging the mud to create space for boats, the adjoining land began to sink, filling the hole left by the excavation. This is a powerful reminder that land is not as solid as it appears. It is fluid, dynamic, and constantly changing. Learning to swim. In a fluid universe, the art of faith is not about finding solid ground, but about learning to swim. Just as a swimmer trusts the water to support them, we must learn to trust the fluid nature of life. This trust requires a certain relaxation, a letting go of our rigid need for control and certainty. A skilled sailor does not fight the wind and waves, but moves with them, adapting to their flow. The same is true for flying, especially in gliding. The art of gliding is about adapting to the air currents, finding harmony with the fluid movement of the atmosphere. This is the essence of faith and wisdom, to move with the flow of life, to trust in the natural wiggliness of the universe. Survival, in its truest sense, is not about mere existence. It is about thriving, about living elegantly and joyfully in harmony with the flow of life. Yet many of us are driven by a relentless desire for more, an anxiety to continue at any cost. This obsession with survival undermines our ability to enjoy the present moment. We often think of something as valuable only if it has a future. We say that something is useless if it has no future. But true wisdom lies in recognizing the value of the present moment. The greatest pleasure comes from being fully alive in the now, not from anxiously anticipating the future. To truly live, we must embrace the present, savoring the wiggliness of life without the constant need for more. Our rigid, straight-line thinking is reflected in the way we categorize and classify the world. We put everything into boxes: animal, vegetable, mineral solid, liquid, gas, Republican, Democrat, capitalist, communist, male, female. These intellectual boxes simplify our understanding of the world, but they also limit it. Life is not neatly categorized. It is a complex, wiggly phenomenon that defies simple classification. By thinking in boxes, we confine our perception of reality, missing the true beauty and complexity of life. To uncover the secrets of the universe, we must break free from these boxes and embrace the fluid, wiggly nature of existence. Look around you. Nature is full of wiggliness. The spirals of shells, the curves of rivers, the undulating patterns of waves, all these are expressions of the fundamental wiggly nature of the universe. Even in our own bodies, we see this wiggliness in the rhythms of our heartbeat, the flow of our breath, and the movement of our muscles. This wiggliness is not just a physical phenomenon. It is also a metaphor for the flow of life itself. To live fully, we must embrace this flow, moving with the natural rhythms of existence. This requires a shift in perspective from rigid control to fluid adaptation, from straight-line thinking to wiggly awareness. Faith, in its truest sense, is not about believing in something solid and unchanging. It is about trusting in the fluid nature of life. Just as a swimmer trusts the water to support them, we must learn to trust the flow of the universe. This trust requires a certain relaxation, a letting go of our need for control and certainty. A skilled pilot does not fight the air currents, but moves with them, adapting to their flow. The same is true for sailing. A skilled sailor moves with the wind and waves, finding harmony with the fluid movement of the sea. This is the essence of faith: to move with the flow of life, to trust in the natural wiggliness of the universe. Survival, in its truest sense, is not about mere existence. It is about thriving, about living elegantly and joyfully in harmony with the flow of life. Yet, many of us are driven by a relentless desire for more, an anxiety to continue at any cost. This obsession with survival undermines our ability to enjoy the present moment. We often think of something as valuable only if it has a future. We say that something is useless if it has no future. But true wisdom lies in recognizing the value of the present moment. The greatest pleasure comes from being fully alive in the now, not from anxiously anticipating the future. To truly live, we must embrace the present, savoring the wiggliness of life without the constant need for more. Our rigid, straight-line thinking is reflected in the way we categorize and classify the world. We put everything into boxes: animal, vegetable, mineral, solid, liquid, gas, Republican, Democrat, capitalist, communist, male, female. These intellectual boxes simplify our understanding of the world, but they also limit it. Life is not neatly categorized. It is a complex, wiggly phenomenon that defies simple classification. By thinking in boxes, we confine our perception of reality, missing the true beauty and complexity of life. To uncover the secrets of the universe, we must break free from these boxes and embrace the fluid, wiggly nature of existence. Look around you. Nature is full of wiggliness. The spirals of shells, the curves of rivers, the undulating patterns of waves, all these are expressions of the fundamental wiggly nature of the universe. Even in our own bodies, we see this wiggliness in the rhythms of our heartbeat, the flow of our breath, and the movement of our muscles. Everything is new, everything is wondrous. A tree is not just a tree, but a magnificent, towering marvel reaching up to the heavens. The sun is not just a ball of fire, but a mesmerizing, radiant orb that lights up the sky. This is the perspective that Jesus spoke of when he said, "Unless you be converted and become as a child, you cannot enter into the kingdom of heaven." As children, the world is a place of infinite possibilities and extraordinary beauty. Every moment is filled with wonder and magic. We see the world as it truly is, a magnificent, improbable, and magical dance. The wisdom of improbability. It is one thing to describe a mythical creature like a griffin or a dragon, but it is quite another to discover that the rhinoceros does indeed exist, and how improbable it looks. This realization opens us to the wisdom that the everyday world is filled with extraordinary and improbable things. When we get used to our surroundings, we take them for granted. A tree becomes just a tree, no longer the earth reaching up to the heavens in a grand gesture. But if we can regain our childlike wonder, we see the tree for what it truly is, a miracle of nature, waving its green banners at the sky. The universe, as seen through this lens of wonder, is a form of divine nonsense. And one of the most significant aspects of the divine mind is humor. There is a story about how the word cosmic was often misprinted as comic in his essays. This mistake holds a deep truth: the cosmic is indeed comic. The universe in its grandeur and vastness is a divine comedy filled with playfulness and joy. Consider the Divine Comedy, an exploration of the cosmos that portrays heaven, purgatory, and hell. This work reminds us that the universe is not to be taken with solemn seriousness, but with a light-hearted spirit. Stones are heavy, grave, and serious. But in all things spiritual, there is lightness, a frivolity that allows angels to fly because they take themselves lightly. If this is true of angels, how much more true must it be of the Creator? Our greatest difficulty in life arises from our expectation that everything must make sense. We are taught to believe that there is a future moment when all will be resolved, when we will finally arrive at a state of satisfaction. This belief permeates our education and our professional lives, driving us to always look ahead, expecting that meaning and fulfillment lie just around the corner. But perhaps the universe does not operate in this linear, goal or goal-oriented manner. Instead, think of life as music. The goal of music is not to reach the end of the composition, but to enjoy each moment of the performance. The same is true of dance. We do not dance to arrive at a particular spot on the floor, but to relish each step, each movement. The secret to unveiling the universe's mysteries lies in embracing its nonsense. This may seem counterintuitive at first, because in our ordinary way of thinking, nonsense is something to be avoided. A meaningless life is often considered the most dreadful kind of existence. But what if the meaningless universe is precisely what makes it wonderful? Imagine the Creator as a child, playing with the elements of the cosmos. The sun and moon are mere balls, and the four winds are toys. This playfulness is at the heart of existence. Life is a magical play that does not need to refer to anything outside itself. It is an unfolding, a continuous jazz improvisation that delights in its own spontaneity. To understand the universe as a kind of musicality is to see it as an ongoing, harmonious process. This perspective shifts us from seeking a final goal to appreciating the unfolding of each moment. Life, like music, is not about reaching the end, but about experiencing the beauty of each note, each rhythm, each silence in between. In this musical view of the world, everything takes on a new light. The flowers, the trees, the mountains, they all become part of a grand symphony. The very nonsense of existence, the fact that it does not conform to our rigid expectations of meaning, becomes a source of joy. This is the essence of the cosmic dance. We often take life too seriously, believing that we must make sense of everything. This seriousness blinds us to the playful, joyful nature of reality. Imagine the universe inviting us to dance, to join in its joyous, nonsensical play. Yet we resist, insisting on our specialness, our need for things to make sense. But there is no sense to it all. The universe is a grand game, a dance that invites us to participate fully, without the need for serious interpretation. This is the wisdom we find in the teachings about the nature of existence. We have piped to you, and you have not danced. We have mourned to you, and you have not wept. To truly join the dance of life, we must lighten up. We must let go of our need for everything to be serious and meaningful. In doing so, we discover a deeper, more profound joy. The angels fly because they take themselves lightly, and so must we. Think of the moments in life when you have felt most alive, most connected to the universe. Were these not moments of playfulness, of spontaneity, of lightness? This is the state of being we are called to embrace, the state that allows us to see the universe in its true magical form. Humor is a gateway to understanding the divine nature of the universe. It allows us to see the absurdity and beauty in all things. When we laugh, we transcend the ordinary, stepping into a realm where everything is possible and nothing is fixed. Humor breaks down the barriers of seriousness, opening us to the playful nature of reality. It is a powerful tool for unveiling the secrets of the universe, showing us that the most profound truths are often found in the most unexpected places. Consider the idea that the universe is a divine play, a Lila as described in Eastern philosophies. In this play, the Creator is not a stern judge, but a playful child, exploring the infinite possibilities of existence. This play is not directed towards a particular end, but is enjoyed for its own sake. The sun and moon, the stars, the earth, all are part of this grand play. And we, too, are invited to participate, to dance and sing and laugh along with the cosmos. This is the true nature of the universe, a magical, playful, and joyous expression of divine creativity. To fully embrace the secrets of the universe, we must learn to live in the present moment. The future is not a place we are striving to reach, but a continuation of the now. By focusing on the present, we tap into the eternal flow of life, experiencing each moment as a unique and precious gift. When we live in the present, we see the world with fresh eyes. We become like children again, filled with wonder and delight at the beauty and mystery of existence. This is the key to unlocking the universe's secrets to be fully present, fully engaged, and fully alive. The ultimate secret of the universe is that it is a source of infinite joy. This joy is not something to be attained in the future, but is available to us right here, right now. It is found in the simple, everyday moments of life, in the playfulness and spontaneity of existence. To experience this joy, we must let go of our need for seriousness and meaning. We must embrace the nonsense, the unpredictability, the magic of life. In doing so, we open ourselves to the true nature of the universe, a nature that is playful, joyous, and endlessly creative. Life is full of paradoxes, and the universe is no exception. It is in embracing these paradoxes that we come to understand the true nature of reality. One of the greatest paradoxes is that the universe is both meaningful and meaningless at the same time. On the surface, the idea of a meaningless universe may seem bleak. We are taught to believe that life must have a purpose, a meaning that transcends the everyday. But what if meaning is found not in some distant transcendent realm, but in the here and now? When we let go of our need for life to make sense, we open ourselves to the possibility of finding meaning in the ordinary. A flower blooming, a bird singing, a child laughing. These are not meaningless events, but profound expressions of the universe's creativity and beauty. Another paradox is the idea that the universe is both serious and playful. We are accustomed to thinking of seriousness as a virtue, something to be admired and aspired to. But what if seriousness is actually a hindrance to understanding the true nature of reality? When we take ourselves too seriously, we become rigid and closed off to new possibilities. But when we embrace the playful, light-hearted nature of existence, we open ourselves to the joy and spontaneity of life. This is the true essence of the universe, a dance of opposites, where seriousness and playfulness coexist in perfect harmony. One of the greatest illusions we face is the idea that we are in control of our lives. We are taught to believe that if we work hard enough, plan carefully enough, we can shape our destinies according to our desires. But this belief is ultimately an illusion. The universe is far too vast and complex for us to control. Life is filled with unexpected twists and turns, and no amount of planning can prepare us for all eventualities. When we let go of the illusion of control, we open ourselves to the beauty of surrender, trusting that life will unfold as it should. We embark on a profound exploration of the illusion of preparation that pervades our lives. From the moment we are born, we are thrust into a world that tells us we are on probation, that we are candidates for humanity rather than fully realized beings. This mindset sets the stage for a lifetime of striving, of always reaching for something just out of reach. Instead of being greeted with open arms and a warm welcome, the child is immediately placed on a path of preparation. Parents and teachers alike tell the child, you must prepare for the future. You must study hard, work hard, and always strive to be better. And so, the child begins a journey of constant preparation, never fully living in the present moment, always looking ahead to what lies beyond. This illusion of preparation is reinforced by our educational system, which is designed to prepare us for a future that never arrives. We move from grade to grade, from school to school to school, always striving for that elusive goal of being fully prepared for life. But life is not a series of grades to be achieved. It is a continuous journey of discovery and growth. Consider the child who spends hours studying for a test, believing that success on the test will bring happiness and fulfillment. The child sacrifices time with friends and family, time spent exploring the world around them, all in the name of preparation. And yet, when the test is over and the grade is received, the happiness and fulfillment that were promised never materialize. The child is left feeling empty, wondering why all the preparation was necessary in the first place. This illusion of preparation extends beyond the classroom into every aspect of our lives. We are told that we must prepare for our careers, for relationships, for retirement, and for death. We are constantly looking ahead, always striving for something just out of reach. But what if I were to tell you that this illusion of preparation is just that, an illusion? What if I were to tell you that the key to unlocking the secrets of the universe lies not in preparing for the future, but in living fully in the present moment? The future is always a promise that never quite materializes. We spend our entire lives preparing for a future that never arrives, always believing that happiness lies just around the corner. But the truth is, happiness is not something that can be found in the future. It is something that must be cultivated in the present moment. Into the futility of schooling, which perpetuates the illusion of preparation and sets us on a path of constant striving. From a young age, we are taught that education is the key to success, that if we work hard and study diligently, we will be prepared for life. But this mindset only serves to keep us trapped in a cycle of preparation, never fully living in the present moment. Consider the child who spends years in school, striving for good grades and academic achievements. The child sacrifices time with friends and family, time spent exploring the world around them, all in the name of preparation for the future. And yet, when the child finally graduates and enters the real world, they are often met with a sense of disillusionment. The skills and knowledge they acquired in school do not always translate to success and fulfillment in the real world. This is not to say that education is not important. On the contrary, education is a valuable tool that can open doors and broaden horizons. However, when education becomes a means to an end, a way to prepare for a future that never arrives, it loses its true value. The futility of schooling is further compounded by the fact that it often fails to teach us the most important lessons in life. We are taught history, mathematics, and science, but we are not always taught how to live fully in the present moment, how to cultivate meaningful relationships, or how to find true happiness and fulfillment. Imagine a different kind of education, one that teaches us not only academic subjects, but also how to live fully and authentically. Imagine a school where students are taught to embrace uncertainty, to celebrate failure as a stepping stone to success, and to cultivate a deep sense of gratitude for the present moment. Let us now turn our attention to the work and play dichotomy that permeates our society. From a young age, we are taught that work is something to be endured, a means to an end, while play is a reward to be enjoyed after a hard day's work. This mindset sets us on a path of constant striving, always seeking to earn our way to happiness and fulfillment. They wake up early, commute to work, spend 8 or more hours at a job they may not enjoy, and then commute home, only to collapse in front of the television or computer screen. This cycle repeats day in and day out, with little time or energy left for true enjoyment or fulfillment. This mindset is further reinforced by the media and advertising, which bombards us with messages that equate happiness with material possessions. We are told that if we just work a little harder, earn a little more money, we can buy the latest gadgets, cars, and clothes that will finally bring us happiness. But this pursuit of material wealth only serves to keep us trapped in a cycle of constant striving, never fully satisfied with what we have. But what if I were to tell you that true happiness and fulfillment cannot be bought with money? What if I were to tell you that the key to unlocking the secrets of the universe lies not in earning more money or acquiring more possessions, but in living fully in the present moment? The work and play dichotomy is a false one. Work and play are not two separate entities, they are two sides of the same coin. When we approach our work with a sense of joy and purpose, it ceases to be a burden and becomes a source of fulfillment. Likewise, when we approach our play with mindfulness and presence, it ceases to be a mere distraction and becomes a source of true enjoyment. From a young age, we are taught to define ourselves based on external factors such as our job, our possessions, and our achievements. This false sense of identity keeps us trapped in a cycle of seeking validation from the outside world, never realizing that true fulfillment comes from within. Consider the typical adult who defines themselves by their job title, their salary, or their possessions. They believe that their worth is tied to these external factors, and they spend their lives striving to achieve more, to acquire more, in the hopes that it will bring them happiness and fulfillment. But no matter how much they achieve or acquire, it is never enough. There is always a sense of emptiness, a sense that something is missing. This false sense of identity is further reinforced by society, which tells us that we must constantly strive to be better, to achieve more, to acquire more, in order to be happy and successful. We are bombarded with messages that equate success with wealth, status, and possessions, leading us to believe that our worth is tied to these external factors. But what if I were to tell you that true happiness and fulfillment cannot be found in external achievements or possessions? What if I were to tell you that the key to unlocking the secrets of the universe lies not in defining ourselves by external factors, but in discovering our true selves, our true essence? Our true identity is not tied to our job title, our salary, or our possessions. It is not tied to our achievements or our failures, our failures. Our true identity is something far greater, far more profound. It is the essence of who we are beyond all labels and definitions. The concept of living in the future and how it prevents us from fully experiencing life in the present moment. From a young age, we are taught to make plans for the future, to set goals and strive for success. While there is value in planning for the future, this mindset can also prevent us from fully enjoying the present moment. Consider the typical adult who is constantly striving for success, always looking ahead to the next promotion, the next achievement. They believe that happiness lies in the future, that if they just work a little harder, earn a little more money, they will finally be able to enjoy life. But this pursuit of future happiness only serves to keep them trapped in a cycle of constant striving, never fully appreciating the beauty and wonder of the present moment. This mindset is further reinforced by society, which tells us that we must constantly plan for the future in order to be successful. We are bombarded with messages that equate success with wealth, status, and possessions, leading us to believe that our worth is tied to these external factors. But what if I were to tell you that true happiness and fulfillment cannot be found in the future? What if I were to tell you that the key to unlocking the secrets of the universe lies not in constantly striving for future success, but in fully experiencing and appreciating the present moment? The future is always a promise that never quite materializes. We spend our entire lives planning and preparing for a future that never arrives, always believing that happiness lies just around the corner. But the truth is, happiness is not something that can be found in the future. It is something that must be cultivated in the present moment. The idea of constantly living for the future and how it can hinder our ability to fully enjoy the present is a profound concept. From a young age, we are encouraged to plan ahead, set goals, and strive for success. While there is merit in preparing for what lies ahead, this mindset can also blind us to the beauty and richness of the present moment. Think about the average adult who is always chasing the next big thing, whether it's a promotion, a bigger paycheck, or a more prestigious job title. They believe that true happiness and fulfillment are just around the corner, waiting for them once they achieve their next goal. But this relentless pursuit of future happiness often leaves them feeling empty and unfulfilled, as they never take the time to appreciate the blessings they have in the here and now. This mindset is further perpetuated by society, which bombards us with messages that equate success with material wealth and possessions. We are led to believe that our value as individuals is determined by our achievements and the things we own, rather than the quality of our relationships or our ability to find joy in everyday experiences. But what if I were to tell you that true happiness cannot be found in the future? What if I were to tell you that the key to living a fulfilling life lies not in constantly striving for more, but in learning to be content with what you have and finding joy in the present moment? The future is always uncertain, and pinning all of our hopes and dreams on what might happen tomorrow robs us of the opportunity to fully experience the richness of life today. Instead of constantly chasing after the next big thing, I invite you to slow down, take a deep breath, and appreciate the beauty and wonder that surrounds you right now. Let go of the need to constantly plan and prepare for the future, and instead focus on living each day to the fullest. Take time to savor the simple pleasures in life, like spending time with loved ones, enjoying a good meal, or taking a walk in nature. By learning to appreciate the present moment, you will find that true happiness and fulfillment are not goals to be achieved in the future, but gifts to be enjoyed right now.